at this point, let's give this a little more sophistication. We'll give it a start screen, and we'll actually include the high score screen and the game over screen as well. So let's go back up to the home button and over the scenes, and we'll add 3 more scenes in here. I'll name the first one home, and then I'll name the next one high score. And the last one I'll call game over. Okay, so I'm going to drag this home screen to the left so that that will be the first one to load. And we'll go into there now. Now I've already created the actors for it. I've got one called button here. Let's just go in there though and resize it. I'm going to make it 200 wide by 50 pixels high. Okay, so let's just drag that, where is it, down here, over to the basically upper center part of the screen. And I could go and finesse that position, but I'll leave it for now. Let's double click on that. And I will unlock this. And we'll add a behavior. There's basically 3 behaviors, I guess. We need to have one which is the rule, which will actually make it clickable and send it to the scene that has the game, the initial scene. But also a behavior to display the text. So maybe we'll start with that. Where is it here? Display text. And we'll replace that. We'll call this one start game. And let's see, we'll just go into the background color. Actually, we'll just make the text black. Okay, well, let's just see what that looks like. Start game, there we go. Okay, I might as well save. The next rule, I'll click create rule, will be for the action, if you will, when it's clicked. So when actor receives event touch is pressed, we'll do a change scene and go to scene, initial scene, and save. Let's give that a try. There we go. So now we've got a game starter. Okay, so let's go back here and we'll work on a little more navigation. Let's just go back here and we'll add another button down here. And this one will bring us to our high score screen. Double click it. And let's see here, let's just go to display text, and we'll call this one high score. And we'll turn the text to black. And then we'll add another rule. Actor receives event touch, pressed. Change scene, go to high score. Just some basic navigation. We're going to come back and populate these screens in a little while, but for now we've got that. And let's actually go to the high score screen now, and we'll do a similar thing here. We'll add a button, and I'll unlock that. Display text. This one is just going to be the back button, so I'll just say back and change that to black, and we'll add the rule to navigate back. So actor receives event touch, pressed, change scene, back to the home scene. Let's just save all that and let's just test that navigation quickly there. Go home and double click on home. You can see here high score, and back. So the basic navigation works there, and if I hit start game, we do get into our initial scene. Okay, so let's just stop this now. And we'll go back here. Now we'll deal with the game over situation. So let's go to the player. We'll just go back to our initial scene. Actually, I'll edit in the prototype. And we'll add another rule. Well, actually, we'll add another behavior to the rule if the game over is true. We'll just go change scene. Actually, I'll put that in a timer so it takes about 2 seconds. Let me grab a timer here. So timer. And I'll just drag that inside of the timer and say after 2 seconds, go to scene, game over. And now let's go deal with the game over scene. So we'll add a couple of buttons here as well. One that'll say play again, so I'll start with that. Position that a bit here, double click it. And of course, display text. Play again, exclamation. And we'll add the rule. Mouse touch is pressed. Change scene back to the initial scene. So we'll get right back into the gameplay. And I'm going to copy these rules. And we'll add another button. I'll double click in there and I'll paste those rules. And I'll just change the text to say back, and this will take us back to the home. So we'll go to scene, home. I'll just save that and we'll just give that a try. Start game, I'll let it drop. 2 seconds later, oh, I need to address the text on here. Good reason for testing. So let's just go back here and change that text to black. And we'll also do it for the play again button. Change the text to black. Save my file. Give it another test here. Start the game. Let it die. And 2 seconds later, we're here. So this should get me to home. And it does. And we'll just make sure that the other one gets me back into the game. Now that's all good, but you might have noticed that the player just dropped like a rock. In other words, the game didn't totally reset. I need to add one more feature inside of this rule, which is to set the game over to false. So let's just go change attribute. We'll just drag it under here. And we'll go down to game over to false. That way the game will restart properly. And I should be able to play it. Let me just save that and give that one more try. Okay, so we'll let the game die. And then I hit play again. And there we go. So we had to reset that attribute called game over back to false. Okay. At this point, we're ready to deal with the score. So there's a couple of elements to that. Let's go back here first of all. And if I go back to attributes, you'll remember that at the beginning we created an attribute called score, which is an integer. And we also have the high score there, but we're going to deal with score right now. Let's go back to our actors. We also have an actor called score. So let's go into our scene, initial scene. And I guess we'll double click on score first. And we'll add a display. So we'll just go display text. And instead of forcing text, we're going to derive the text from the variable called score. So let's just go in here and we'll go to game and double click on score. So whatever the value of score is, it will display inside of this text box. Let's go over to color here. We're going to make the background transparent. And now we should just see white text on the black background. Okay. So we'll just drag score into our scene in this upper left corner. There it is there. I'll just quickly preview that. And you can see that it's 0. And we'll just go back here. And let me just run that again here. So it's going to remain 0 until we actually have something to score with. But right now, at least I have the holder to display for score. So let's go back here. And I also want to display that score on my game over screen. So let's go to game over. And we'll just drag score up here. And I'll just widen it a bit to match the buttons basically. And let's give that a save. So when we go to end up in game over, we can still see our score as well. So if I hit preview, play again, I'll just let it die. And there it is right there.